Hi, I'm Caitlin, and along with the help of my teammates Young, Julie, and Leah, we are going to discuss a very interesting concept in evolutionary biology, sexual selection. We wanted to start off this discussion by posing the question, why did sex ever evolve? The answer to this question lies in the fact that sexual reproduction has many benefits. One of the biggest benefits of sexual reproduction is that it increases genetic diversity in a population. This increase in diversity allows a species to evolve more quickly to a changing or harsh environment. Sexual reproduction leads to a new form of natural selection, referred to as sexual selection. Sexual selection is defined as the process by which some individuals in a population are better able to acquire mates and reproduce due to certain heritable traits than other individuals that lack those traits, and therefore those traits proliferate and increase in frequency over time. Sexual selection can lead to different mating strategies between species and also genders. For example, in species where there is an asymmetry in parental investment between males and females, the genders will have different limiting factors in reproduction. The females, if they spend more time and energy in each offspring, are limited by the number of offspring they can have, while males, if they invest less in offspring, are limited by the number of females he can convince to mate with him. Since females take more time between reproductive events, there are more males than females available to mate, leading to strong competition between males for mates. These limits lead to sexual selection pressures on mating strategies to maximize reproduction, resulting in females who are choosy with whom they mate and males who have traits that make them better able to attract mates. Such strong competition for female mates can lead to physical confrontation between males and the development of weapons such as antlers in deers. A common misconception is that this type of physical male-male competition for mates only occurs in animals and not in plants. However, we found a very interesting paper that actually demonstrates such physical confrontation in milkweed plant species, which is kind of cool considering the immobility of plants. Kikuchi and his colleagues in the paper The Buck and Milkweed: Evidence of Male-Male Interference Among Pollinaria on Pollinators were studying pollen competition in several species of milkweed when they found evidence of physical male-male interference. Milkweed pollen aggregates into two pollinia that are connected by sterile structures to form an overall structure called a pollinarium. Insects pick up these pollinaria when looking for nectar in flowers and can deliver the pollen from the attached pollinaria in the next flower. Something interesting about these pollinaria structures is that they're able to link together. So if an insect has picked up a pollinarium from one flower and then goes to another flower, the pollinaria in this other flower can attach to the first pollinarium that's on the insect from the original flower. When this occurs, the second pollinarium, occupying the distal position, has the ability to interfere with the first pollinarium, occupying the proximal position, in its ability to deliver pollen in subsequent flowers. The authors of this paper hypothesized that linkage of pollinarium could be beneficial or harmful depending on the situation. If the distal pollinarium linked to the proximal pollinarium is from the same plant, this linkage could be beneficial as it increases the amount of pollen removed by an insect from a plant. However, if the distal pollinarium is from a different plant, then the linkage would be harmful because it interferes with the ability of the proximal pollinarium to deliver its pollen. Kikuchi and his colleagues then hypothesized that if there is high male-male competition, such as pollinaria from many different plants present, then it would make sense that sexual selection would favor pollinaria that have a trait preventing other pollinarium from attaching to it, since this would allow them to pollinate other flowers better and reproduce more. The authors noticed that some species of milkweed had pollinarium with horn-like structures, and they wondered if this was such a trait. In this study, Kikuchi wanted to determine if the linkage of pollinaria was prevented by the presence of this horn trait, and confirm if linkage interfered with the ability of the proximal pollinarium to donate its pollen. To do so, the authors conducted 3 experiments. In the first experiment, the authors examined many species of milkweed and looked to see if the occurrence of the horn trait also occurred along with the prevention of pollinarium linkage. So in this phylogenetic tree that they constructed after their observations, species that have this horn trait are highlighted in black on the left, and species that don't have linkage are highlighted in black on the right. And as you can see, in all species that had the horn trait, linkage was prevented. This provides evidence that the horn trait may be preventing linkage. To further
Created using Powtoon.